In this video today, I'm going to show you how I crocheted this really cute Christmas hanging towel. I used the V-stitch, which is a very quick and easy stitch. Previously, I did put out a video crocheting the same hanging towel, Christmas towel. This one here I used the shell stitch. So this one also is a pretty easy one to follow. If you like this one, you could check out my channel and some of my other videos, and you can find this one there. So I hope you enjoy following along in this tutorial today and you find it easy to follow. For this project, I'm going to use Bernat Handicrafter cotton yarn. The red I'm using is called Red. The green I'm using is called Emerald, and the white is just called White. I will also be using a 5mm crochet hook. Also for this project, you're going to need a button that's about 1 inch in diameter, a darning needle, yarn needle, tapestry needle, and of course something to snip your yarn with. And let's get started. I'm going to start with the red yarn. You can choose whichever color you want. I'm going to make a slip knot. So I'm going to take the tail end of my yarn, put it over the working end, go through that loop, grab hold of the tail end, and just pull out a little slip knot. We're going to make a chain. So we yarn over, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. So we'll make a chain. So we'll make our chain 48 chains long. So when you get to your 48, with this stitch that we're doing, we have to be in multiples of 3. So 48 is going to work for us. When you get to 48 chains, we're going to go to the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do a double crochet in there. So double crochet again is yarn over our hook, go through our chain, yarn over the hook, pull through a loop. We have 3 on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Then we're going to make a chain 1. We're going to do another double crochet in that same space. Now we're going to skip 2 chains, so 1, 2, and into the 3rd chain, we're going to do a double crochet. Chain 1 and a double crochet in the same space. We're going to skip 2 chains and we're going to do a double crochet in our 3rd chain, chain 1, and another double crochet in that same space. So we have our beginning chain over here. We have 1 set of 2 double crochets, chain 1, which makes our V into this space. We have another V here created by our 2 double crochets. We have a 3rd V over here. So we're going to continue all the way down this chain. So skip 2, and then in the 3rd chain, it's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Do this all the way down, and I'm going to meet you just before the end of the chain to show you how to end. Okay, I'm just ending this row. So I've done a V stitch, and now I have 2 chains left. So I'm going to yarn over and just do a double crochet in that last chain 1 space. Now I'm not going to finish my double crochet. Before I pull through the last 2 loops, I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to put a white on here. I'm just going to finish that double crochet with my new color. Chain 2. Okay, let's just look at what my row is looking like here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 V's. There's a double crochet at the beginning of my row that was made with the chain, and over here we made a double crochet at the end of this row. Now I just made a chain 2, and I'm going to turn. That chain 2 takes the place of a double crochet. Now don't cut your yarn. Because we're using 3 colors, we can carry these colors up the side of our work. Less ends at the end. If you want to have 2 colors, then you have to snip your yarn at the end of each row. It's just a lot more weaving in at the end. Okay, so let's look at our red row. We can see the V here. So those are the 2 double crochets that went into that same chain space. Here's our chain 1, and it leaves us with a nice little space, so we're going to do a double crochet in there. Chain 1, double crochet in that same space. So we've just put a V inside of our V. We're going to do that the whole way down, so just make sure you're going into the right space. Here's your V, you're going to go into the middle. You're going to do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, so we have 2 done. So just continue that all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end to show you how to finish off. Just at the end of my row, we can see that I have a new row of white V's going into the red V's. Just completed my last V over there, and so then we're going to do a double crochet at the top of that last. It's at the top of the double crochet from the red row. Oops, I'm not going to finish that double crochet. With my white, I'm going to use my new color, just going to be green. So we'll chain 2. This next row, the green row, is exactly the same as the white row. So we're just doing a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in our V. The V's are much easier to see now because we can see that this one is formed over that one there. So at the end of this row, I'll show you how to carry the yarn up the side. So I'm at the end of the green row. I'm going to put my double crochet here at the end. I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to go down and find where my red yarn is. I'm just going to finish this green double crochet with my red yarn. Now I want to make sure that I'm not pulling too tight on here because I don't want to pull my project together like that. So there has to be enough slack so that it can lay along the side of the project, and afterwards this will be covered in with a border, so you're not going to see this. So don't make it too loose, but certainly don't have it tight where it's going to draw your project together. And I mean like gather it. Okay, so then we're going to do chain 2 and turn. So we're just going to continue along in the same pattern until our work measures 11 inches. So we'll meet back here when our total height of our project here is 11 inches. Okay, my work now measures about 11 inches in height. So now we're going to work on the border around here. So I finished with the white and I just fastened off. My red I also clipped. Sorry, you can hear my dog snoring. The green I've left attached because I'm going to use the green for my border. Now you can decide whatever color you would like to use, but I've decided to use green. The reason I chose green is because I end it with a red and a white, and green is inside, so I decided I would use the green for the border on this one. For no other reason than that, you can use whichever color you like. So I'm going to go back to where the green has ended off, and I'm just going to start my border right there. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to do a chain 1 and a single crochet in that same space. So this border is going to be single crochets all the way around. So a single crochet in here, and our yarn that's going up the side will just be encased in this single crochet row. So what I feel is working for me as I go along this side, we have our chain 3s and our double crochets on the side. It seems to me it's working easier if I did one single crochet where there's a chain 3, and where the double crochet, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in there. Again, this is just a chain 3 space, which should be just the same height as a double crochet, but just the way the stitches are laying, it looks easier for me to do 1 single crochet where that chain 3 is, and then get 2 in where there's a double crochet. And that seems to be giving a fairly even spread of single crochets along this side. We don't want anything that's too tight, that's going to pull it in, and we don't want anything that's we don't want too many of them. So down in this corner space, we're going to do 3 single crochets. Then we're going to turn. We have our chain space where we did 2 double crochets together. So we'll do a single crochet in there. Between our 2 double crochets, remember we skipped 2 chains. So we'll do 2 in there, and then 1 in where the 2 double crochets join. Okay, so we have 1 below where the 2 double crochets are, and then 2 where the chain, we skip those 2 chains. Okay, I'm just getting to the end of this row, and I've put a single crochet below where my 2 double crochets are. Then we'll do 1 single crochet here. Now we're at the corner, and then the corner we'll do 3 single crochets. So let's look at our bottom and see if it looks okay. Looks good. So we'll turn to this side. Along this side we'll do the same that we did over here. And we'll meet you at this corner over here. I'm up at that top corner, so we're going to do 3 single crochet in this corner space. So across the top, we will do single crochet in the top of our double crochets and a single crochet in that chain 1 space. Back at this last corner, as usual, we're going to do 3 single crochet. We're going to turn. Now we still have a little bit to do before we meet our starting green. So we'll just finish this side. And when you meet up with your starting single crochet, we're just going to slip stitch in there. Chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet in that same space. Now for the next round, we're going to do a single crochet in each single crochet. When we get to our corners, so we're going to choose our middle single crochet, so here, this one here, and we're going to do 3 single crochet in there. So in all of your corners, just do 3 single crochet in that middle single crochet that you have. Then we'll meet back over here. Back to that beginning single crochet of this second round. So we're just going to slip stitch in there. And then we can fasten off. Okay, now would be a great time to go and weave in any of your ends. And then we'll come back and we'll look at working this top section. Now that the ends have all been fastened in, we can start with our top. So we'll go to our top right-hand corner. Just going to pull my yarn through, tight. Go through that same space. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, chain 1 and single crochet back in that same space. I'm going to single crochet in each space across the top row. I've got to the corner, all my single crochets are done. I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to turn. We're going to single crochet in that first space. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets together all the way across. We're going to decrease. So it's going through our first single crochet, yarn over, bring back a loop, keep that on. We'll go into a second one, yarn over, bring back a loop. We've got 3 on, so we'll yarn over and go through all 3 so that we just decreased using a single crochet. So we'll go through our next stitch, yarn over, bring back a loop, keep it on your hook, go through your next stitch, yarn over, bring back a loop. You have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're going to do the same thing all the way across, and I'll meet you at the corner and then we'll see how we'll end this row. So I'm just at the end of this row. I have single crocheted these 2 together, and there is 1 single crochet left, which I'll do a single crochet in. Now if you get to the end of this row and there's 2 left, then just do a decrease in that. Okay, but because I have one left, I'm just going to do a single crochet in this last one. Chain one, we're going to turn. I want you to count to see how many stitches you have. So we're just counting these V's. You count yours, I'll count mine in my head. Okay, so I have 25. We need to reduce to 11. So this next row across, we'll do the same that we did in our last row. If you have less than 22 stitches, you need to make sure that you're not reducing or decreasing your stitches past 11. Okay, so we're going to do a single crochet in that first space. Do the same thing going across. We are going to do a single crochet decrease. When you're at the end of this row, you're going to count again. So I'll show you as I count mine. Stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 2 extra stitches on there because I want to get to 11. So we're going to chain 1, turn, do a single crochet in our first one, single crochet in the second one, maybe in the third one. Then I'm going to do a decrease here. So I just need to decrease twice going across this row. So if you have 15 stitches, you need to decrease to 11, so you have to decrease 4. Just set them up anywhere across your row. I only have to decrease 2. At the end of the row, I should have 11 single crochets. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row and I have 11. So I'm where I need to be with my single crochets. So we're always at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1 before we turn. You should have 11 single crochets across this row. So at the end of the row again, we're going to chain 1, then turn. So continue on until your work measures 5 inches from where we've started these 11 single crochets. So not at the beginning of the green, but right here, this past row. Where it's not gathered in. So from there, you want to go 5 inches, and then we'll meet back again. Now that I've finished 5 inches, our next row we're going to do 4 single crochet. In our next 3 stitches, we're going to slip stitch. This is going to make our buttonhole. Then we should have 4 single crochets to finish this row. Chain 1 and we'll turn. So 4 single crochets again. Now we're going to chain 3. Then we'll go over those 3 that we slip stitched, and we're going to do 4 single crochets in our final 4. Chain 1, turn. So we'll do 4 single crochets. And in our chain 3, we'll do 3 single crochets. And then 4 more single crochets. Chain 1, we'll turn. Now we'll do 11 single crochets in this row. Chain 1, turn. So now we're into our last couple rows. We're not going to single crochet in our first one, we're going to skip that one and we're going to go to the second one. So we should have 10 single crochets across. Chain 1, turn. So in this row we're going to skip our first single crochet. We'll single crochet in our next one, so that would be 9 single crochets across this row. We'll snip our yarn, fasten off. Our last step is to sew on the button. So first thing you want to decide which is the front of your work and which is the back of your work. When you look at your work, one side just naturally seems to be the front and the other seems to be the back. So once you determine the front of your work, weave in your ends. Remember when you're weaving in your ends from up here, because you're folding over the top, this here now is the right side of your work, and this is the back side, so you want to make sure you weave your ends in on the back side to make it less noticeable. So I have my button here ready. I have some yarn on my needle. So I'm just going to take my button and I'm going to place it under the flap, making sure my flap is exactly where it should be when it closes. Just going to lay my button inside that space. I can see my buttonholes. So we'll keep it right there. From the back, I'm going to come through one of my holes. Because I'm using my yarn, I'm only going to go through each hole one time. So just form an X with that yarn. I'm just going to do a test run to make sure. that works there. You can just turn it over. Just going to tie a knot back here. I'm going to snip my ends, but I'm not going to weave them in or anything. I do want to see that just in case for some reason I need to take this button off. You can do so. So our hanging towel is finished. I really hope you enjoyed following along in this tutorial with me and making this really cute Christmas hanging dish towel. Please like my video if you enjoyed following it, and subscribe to my channel, and then you can follow along with some of my other great projects. So happy crocheting!